All right. Good evening, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining us from. Please, okay. Cletus, good morning from your end. Good evening, Ebenezer. Good evening, Bello Matthew. Good evening, Ibukun Ade Banwo. Please, I hope you guys can hear me. Please let me know if you can hear me. Okay. Michael, good evening. Michael Yejita Samba. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrongly. Sincerely apologize for that. Oh my God, Damilola, good evening. 10 p.m. Oh wow. Oh wow. Yusuf, good evening, Yusuf. Ethan Ayola, good evening. Inumimo, good evening. John, good evening. Olorunfemi, good evening. Adeniran, good evening. Olalekan, good evening. Castro, Tobechuku, Faith, Ibukun, Blessing, Anytime. I've been trying to reach out to you on LinkedIn. Oh, just send me a connection request. Just send me a connection request. Then you'll be able to talk to me. My boss, Yamin Destiny. How you doing, boss? I greet you, sir. Okay, Fumilayo, good evening. Folarin, good evening. Favor, good evening. Favor Apolupe Apobo Jaja, good evening. Okay, Voma, I think I've noticed Voma's name. Good evening. It's been a while I've seen Fit Gabby. Yes, I remember. Good evening. Eunice, good evening. Nelson, good evening. Anytime, Moses. Okay, if you've connected with me anytime, you should be able to message me, right? Tulani Wisdom. Yeah, I'm doing great today. I'm doing better than I was the last time we met. All right, so thank you. James Ogunjimi, good evening. Kev Ode, good evening. Okay, I hope I'm not missing anybody's name. How is the family doing? The family is great. Family is great. Family is great. We bless God. We bless God. Glory to God. Hallelujah. Amen. Hey, God. Okugbe Friday. Good evening. European Bobo. Yeah, I've noticed European Bobo too. Very nice name. Good evening. Okay. Good evening, guys. So many good evening. I'm doing great for those asking. How is wife and children? They are doing great. Oh my god, so funny. Oh my god. Okay, Precious Unku, good evening. Okay, sorry for missing you. Presley Egedi, good evening. Anthony, good evening. Collins, Prince Collins, Okoli Grace, Emmanuel Adamu, Oluwaseyitan, Prince Collins, Godwin, Ozonwene. Oh my God, I'm so sorry for. I hope you guys are not angry that I'm always pronouncing your names terribly. Please just bear with me. Someone is calling me Uncle Ima. Oh my God, that's like, oh my God, God, I beg, God, I beg. Aderito Isaiah, my boss. Good evening. Oh, how you doing? How are you doing today? What do you have for us? Oh, yeah, Nahitos. Don't worry, don't worry. We are not going to do too much demo tonight, but I mean, like, we'll touch a little bit of practical, right? We are going to be setting the foundation, like our style is, right? We talk about theory, we talk about the fundamentals, and then we'll get to see how it works practically, right? So we'll be doing that tonight. We'll be doing a couple of mixture, okay? And we'll talk about some things. We'll show you some demo, and yeah, hopefully we get to do all that within the time frame. Okay, now people are calling me Daddy Ima. Oh my God, now I feel so younger. Oh my God. Ebenezer, my the grandkids are doing great. Grandkids are doing great. Good evening, Kuburat. Yes, Ambali Kuburat. What is his name? Yeah, also Mr. Nice, national salute to you too, my boss, my fellow comrade. Oh, sorry, say my voice is sharp tonight. I think that's good. That's good. Thank God. Grandkids are doing great. Tunde Amos, long time no see, right? Right. Okay. While we are catching up, while we are greeting each other, please just send a message to your friend, tell them it's time. Right. Tell them it's time. Let them come and join us so they can get the best out of what we have. And let's see how far we can go tonight. Let's see. Let's just go that we are gonna be able to do good tonight. Okay, thank you, Sylv Egurube. I love this. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Manuel. I'm happy to report that I have read through Hush Puppies David. Very interesting read. I'm not ready for more. All right, so thank you. I mean, if I could right now, I would have just given like Sylv Egurube. I would have given him like 20 marks, right? So if possible, I would have just passed him, right? Maybe he's going to take first position in class because this shows like this is a good student. Please, a round of applause for him, right? Thank you. I love that. I love that. I love that. So, guys, let me hear from you guys. Did you guys go through Hush Puppies Affidavit? Yes, and share some insight, please. Share some insights. Okay. uh, right. Then, at least, I mean, the way the society is so polluted right now, we have a lot of people doing fraud. So please, if you are by any means close to someone doing fraud, please just send them Hush Puppies court affidavits as a present. Maybe God will use that to touch their mind and let them repent from their evil ways. Amen. Okay, yes, Olare John. Yes, we do, and Abakiari. Okay. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, Tobechuko, I did yesterday. Nice, 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 nice. Dr. Honest Ahmed, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Akachuku Divine, I done that as well. Nice, nice, nice. You guys should share some insights. Oh my god. I'm not in the kitchen, please. I'm not in the kitchen. Yeah, very detailed. Oh, good. Ugochi favor. Yeah. Femi Bello, the report was comprehensive, detailed, and details hidden at all. Okay, I'm not sure I know what that means, but I want to believe you mean that it was comprehensive and yeah. Femi Bello, I did as well. Okay. Oh, we have someone from Kaduna. Good evening, Christopher Petrus. Somewhere you're whining me. You want to be like when you grow up. Are you sure you're not older than me? Oh my god, I beg. Okay, it felt wise. I did though. It was really interesting. I have made up my mind. I want to work as an FBI agent to catch all those. That's a good thing. Yes, yes. Say no to cybercrime. Say no to cybercrime. But I mean, you could work for Nigeria now. Why work for FBI? Not like I'm against FBI, but I mean, be patriotic if you're in Nigeria. Yeah, but fun fact, right? Right now, just to let you guys know what is happening, FBI currently has an office in Nigeria just to aid them in extracting or extrapolating some of these guys that are doing bad stuff. So, yeah, a lot of these guys are going to be facing the law, which is part of what gives us joy in this line of work. Okay. Oh my god. All right. So many interesting stuff tonight. Yes, someone is asking if you want to read the whole thing. Yes, now by all means. Read the entire thing. Ah, so I say Nigeria doesn't pay good money. Oh my god. I thought we were doing this for passion, guys. I thought we were doing this for passion. Oh my god. Oh my god. Ah, okay. I beg. Okay. All right. So for those say I'm not eating, guys. Trust me, I can't be eating and and teaching at the same time. I won't be able to talk well now. Oh my god, you guys are so strange. I don't trust you guys anymore. Somebody said amen to future wife. Amen. Amen. Okay, guys, I think enough of the playing around. Let's get to what we have for tonight. Let's get to what we have for tonight. And okay, someone is asking, yes, yes, please, Saturday, 31st of May by 7 p.m., right? Please let's come out, right, for this session. It promises to be very insightful, okay? Please, promises to be very, very, very insightful. Right. And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, one thing like we always try to communicate during this training is that what we are teaching is not just to stimulate you mentally or just teach you some cool stuff, right? At the end of the day, you want to make a skill out of this, you want to make a life out of this, you want to get good jobs from this, right? So this session promises to teach you how to go about some of these things. I see some of you guys doing some great stuff on LinkedIn already. Very commendable, right? Trying to put yourself out there, right? So these are some of the things that are going to be addressed, how you can actually it's not just about having skills, right? You want to know how you can get land your first job, land your first internship, right, and all those kind of stuff, right, and also tell you guys some of true the realities when it comes to tech, right? Because I mean, in this part of the world, a lot of people just assume that, oh, once it's tech, like the world will come chasing you, money will start chasing you up and down, and all those kind of stuff, right? Some of you will actually be surprised. I'm not saying there's no money in tech. What I'm just trying to say is you need to learn some things in order for you to land the good job, right? Yeah, and all those kind of things. So please be available, right, for the session. My voice is low now. Why? That doesn't sound nice. Okay, how about now? I hope my voice is better. Okay, I hope my voice is better now. Okay. Okay, Larry, I don't want, yes, I mean it's a ring, right? It's a ring. Yes, so Hush Puppy was not working alone. There are a couple of them, right? They are like it's a ring, it's not just one person. And then you notice like what they did was they arrested all of them simultaneously in different part of the world. Right. So it's like let's say they have branches in different part of the world, right? Okay. Okay, thanks guys. My voice is better now. Great. Okay, so let's get to our slide. Let's get to our slide and dig in for what we have today. Okay. Okay, insightful TV Sean. Okay, yeah, I sent me a message on LinkedIn. I believe I've responded to. I tried responding to all my messages on LinkedIn. Right, it's been a lot. Right, I'm not sure I've gotten as much messages as I've gotten from you guys in a while. Right, but I try as much as possible to reply to all that I can. Right. So yeah, send me. You can send me anything you want to discuss with me there. Okay. And yeah, so brief recap what we did the last time. Let's just run back. Yeah, so we spoke about what forensic is. We defined it layman, simple terms, what it involves, why it is important, why we need it. Then we spoke about some areas of forensics, right? Computer, mobile, network, cloud, malware, and yeah. And then we spoke about the process. We said, okay, majorly we have four processes: collection, examination, analysis, reporting. But then different authors sometimes might want to break it down into more phases, right? But then at the end of the day, whatever number you have is always going to fall inside this four, right? And then we treated looked at this seven: identification, preservation, collection, examination, analysis, reporting, and then presentation. And then I remember I spoke about how important um presentation is, right? That at the end of the day is not just about you doing some cool stuff, right? What you are doing it because you want to present it somewhere, right? You have people you are reporting to. So at the end of the day, you must always have it in mind that you are going to be doing some reporting, right? And then evidence type in digital forensic: files, emails, charts, documents, log files, browsing history, network capture, metadata, right? And then for those who actually went ahead to download the Hush Puppies court affidavit from the Department of Justice, the United States of America, right? You will see like a lot of these things were actually presented as evidence, right? Some of the Hush Puppy's conversation with co-accomplice, some screenshots, some emails that were being sent, some documents that were retrieved, log. Okay, I'm not sure of log files because it's been a while I read that document. I think a couple of years now. Yeah, and all those kind of stuff, right? So very, very important. So hi. Okay, and yeah, thank you, Larry, John, right? Some numbers that they used, right? So you retrieve anything that can be used to convey the message, right? Then metadata, we didn't go too deep into metadata. And we spoke about volatile and non-volatile evidence and how important it is for you to know what you're dealing with, so you know how to handle all of this. So, like evidence and volatile can be lost when power is turned off, right? And when we said, oh, information or evidence is in the RAM and active connection and those kind of stuff, right? I will say, okay, so for example, maybe you retrieve a suspect laptop, maybe a suspect mobile phone, right? You want to make sure that you you don't turn off the device, right? Because some information that are going to come handy might actually be in the memory, right? So you want to be careful with that, right? Because there might be some volatile evidence, right? Okay, and then non-volatile, right? Hard disks, USB, cloud, all those ones we know, like, with or without power, those information will always be accessible, right? So some tools that we use, we spoke about, mentioned a couple of them: Celebrite, FTK, Autopsy, Encase, TCP Dump, Wireshark, and just a couple of them, right? And then we said, okay, as we progress, by God's grace, in our very next class tomorrow, we'll be going deep into a particular one, right? We are going to be using Autopsy to carry out an analysis. Okay, and yeah, and evidence collection principles, right? Maintain integrity, reliability, minimize contamination, right? Volatile, right? You want to minimize contamination. You want to make sure that volatile information or evidence in the volatile memory is not lost, right? You want to be careful how you handle them. Let's say, for example, if you maybe you went for an operation, right? Maybe you are that guy that wants to be an FBI agent, right? And when you go to your suspect room or office, there was a desktop, right, that was used that you suspect contains some important evidence, right? You want to make sure that you don't just unplug the desktop computer, right? Because once you unplug it, power is going to be out and all the information in the RAM, which is the memory, will probably be lost, right? So you want to make sure you've done the imaging and all necessary things before you actually unplug the computer and all those kind of stuff. Minimize contamination, follow best practices for documentation, use write blocker, log every action, right? Write blocker, right? You want to make sure that by no means are you writing into your evidence, by no means are you contaminating the evidence using some write blocker tools. Then also, every single thing you do, you want to properly log it, you want to properly document it, right? Then we moved, which leads to discussing chain of custody, right? Chain of custody, right? But before then, we spoke about do's and don'ts and all those kind of stuff, right? Label everything, use chain of custody form, take photos, right? As many photos as you can grab, as many screenshots as you can grab, right? You don't want to alter files, you don't want to use suspect device directly, right? You said, oh, you want to image or you want to duplicate the suspect device. Okay, and then you don't want to forget to document every single thing you do. You want to document. And then we spoke extensively on chain of custody, right? We spoke extensively on chain of custody, maintain the integrity and admissibility of the evidence. Okay. Then component of chain of custody, we spoke about all these, why chain of custody matters, right? And we asked some questions. We also spoke about anti-forensic. I saw a couple of you trying to ask some anti-forensic question, and I wasn't sure if you guys were asking for the right reasons, right? Because at this point, I don't even trust some of my students anymore. Oh my God, right? Okay, that's just a on a lighter note, right? So, anti-forensic, how people might want to alter the information and all those kind of stuff. Okay, someone is saying I'm too fast, so I'm just going to reduce the pace. Okay, and so some anti-forensic techniques, right? Data wiping, secure deletion, encryption, steganography, time stamping, log manipulation, use of anti-forensic tools, and those kind of stuff. And what else? Yeah, we spoke briefly, right? And I mean, we spoke briefly about how deleting of files is when it comes to computing. And then I know like some of you guys struggled, right? Some of you guys actually struggled with understanding that, but we'll be working on that. I think we'll be touching more on that today, and then we'll be explaining how that works for better understanding, and then it will make sense. It will make a lot more sense to you guys, right, by the end of this class, why it is possible and how it is possible, why and how it is possible for us to retrieve files that the user thought has been deleted or that people think has been deleted. Okay. And yeah, some key takeaway. So yeah, session 2, week 6. Here we are. I'll just quickly go through the comments and then we'll jump to what we have for tonight. We jump to what we have for tonight. Yeah, Fit Gabby, have you been? Have you been? I actually asked of you a couple of minutes ago. Nice to have you back. Okay, I'll try to trust you guys. I'm going to try. But please stop asking questions that will make me not trust you. Okay. Yeah, Ebenezer. Okay. Emmanuel is asking about cyber warfare. Okay. Okay. Yeah, but I'm going to be talking about that. Okay. We are going to be talking about that. Okay. Avulabi, I don't trust my student again, right? Oh my god. All right. I think we are good. Submit some of these things, right? And then the people in charge of that are going to get it across to you. So trust me, you should get it very, very soon. Okay. So please bear with us. Okay, Fit Gabby is asking. Yeah, we are going to be touching where the deleted files goes to Fit Gabby. Okay. I mean, we actually spoke about that the last time, right? But we are going to be better explaining that today. Okay, so sit tight, right? And please pay attention. Okay. Autopsy is autopsy. Yes, autopsy is an app, right? In fact, that's what we are going to be using. So if you can, please download autopsy on your system. Okay. I'm not sure if there's a mobile phone equivalent, right? Or a mobile phone version. I'm not sure of that. Okay. Udebuike, you ought to trust your student because we trust you. Yeah, but you know, in security, there's something called zero trust. Trust no one. That's what they tell us in security. Okay, okay. How do we gather information on dark web? Who is this person asking about dark web? Oh my god, you guys see more reason why I can't trust you guys. Someone is already asking about dark web in this class. Okay. Sorry. Okay, okay. Agwamba Emmanuel. I mean, this makes sense. This makes sense. Okay. Um. Okay. Yeah, anti-forensic might not be primarily criminal. Okay. Nigeria is going to become cyber guru in a few years. Yeah, 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 yeah. But I mean, we have a lot more people than Nigerians on this call, so let's not make it all about ourselves because Nigerians can be so about themselves. Yeah, we can be very can be very much like that. So people from other neighboring countries and other countries, please don't mind my fellow Nigerians. Please don't mind them. Don't worry. Um ah oh my god. Um Oh, sorry about that. For those who don't have laptop, please just keep going, right? Trust me. Very soon, I trust God that you will have your own laptop and then you'll be able to practice some of this, right? I'm doing great, Benjamin Kandakai. Good evening. I want to believe you are not Nigerian because of this your name. I'm doing great. Please don't mind my Nigerian people. Okay. Okay. Let's not talk about business email compromise or too much about hush puppy tonight. Right. Let's just focus on what we have for tonight. Then if we have more time, we might touch on that a little bit, depending on how early we we are able to finish what we have for tonight. Okay. Oh wow. Benjamin is from is it Liberian? Oh nice, nice, nice. Nice having you here, Benjamin. Okay. And okay, BJ Ward. Yeah, we are already touching on the basic theories and fundamentals, right? That's what we are doing. Okay. So just pay attention. Okay. Okay, Omole autopsy is 1.2 gig. No, we are not using autopsy tonight, Omole. So don't worry. That'll be tomorrow. Yes, Emmanuel Otege. I'm in Nigeria. I'm a proud Nigerian. Okay. All right. Um, all right. So let's get to what we have for tonight. So we are going to be talking about file system and artifacts. Okay. File system and artifacts. Okay, and yeah, please let's reduce the comments, okay, so we can focus on what we have for tonight. Okay, so some key things we are going to be talking about. Please key takeaways from for tonight's class, right? We are going to try to understand common file system and why and how they are relevant when it comes to forensics, right? We are going to identify key forensic artifacts, right? We spoke about some earlier, right? It's very, very briefly, right? But then we are going to be looking at some, right? We are going to analyze window logs. We are going to be talking about window logs, the important ones. We are going to be talking about browser data and some metadata. Okay, so this is our objective for tonight, and I trust God will be able to meet up with all of this. Okay, and yeah, so before we get to what we have, oh no. Right. Before we get to what we have for tonight. So I have a question for you guys, okay? I have a question for you guys. Um so let's say in this day and age, right? In this day and age, right? How important do you think browser data is when it comes to forensics? How important do you think browser data is when it comes to forensic? Okay. So, okay, my slide is static. Okay, what slide are you seeing, guys? What slide are you seeing? For those who are seeing my slide is static. Are you not seeing key takeaways from tonight's class? That's the slide I'm currently on. Ngozi. Okay, all right, guys. Very important. Okay, so why do you say so? Please explain why you say it's very important. For those who are saying very important. Oh, just dark green. Okay, so let me try to reshare my screen. Okay. Okay. Okay, don't worry, you should get the slide back up very soon. So while we're waiting for that, let me quickly go through your answers. Very important. Browser data. Samo David said browser data. Okay, so what do you mean by browser data? Can you explain more? Okay, so Chukwu Ezekiel, very, very important. Commonly visited sites can give clues or patterns regarding what a person is doing. Nice, beautiful. Browser data is this BJ word. Browser data is very key because it gives a background knowledge about the owner of the data. Beautiful, right? Um, okay, Daniel Oluwashola, it is very important. It tell about a person's interest, last visited site, and so on. So on. Yes, very, very correct. Okay, Sandra is saying, I don't think it's very important because people can delete their history now. Yes, you have a point, Sandra. That is actually anti-forensic. That is some anti-forensic move, right? But then not everybody behaves like that, right? It's just the same way. I mean, there are some things that are easy to say, right? It's so easy for a lot of people to say, "Oh, we delete our browser's history," but I'll ask you guys, how many times have you gone to delete your browsing history, right? I mean, it's probably going to be less than 20% of those in this session that actually take out time to start deleting their browsing history. And if you are doing that, permit me to say, I don't trust you. Why are you why are you doing that if you are not a criminal? Okay, sorry, that's a silly joke, right? But yeah, I mean, some people might want to be very private and some people can be like that, right? But a good number of persons, right, do not necessarily go that route, care about doing all of those stuff because they believe they have nothing to hide. And then, like, when it comes to digital forensic, most time we are working as like investigators and yeah. So want to correct there are some patterns, right, when it comes to people, right? Um BJ Word browser. Okay, I think I answered BJ Word. Yeah, anytime. Yes, personal data like login credentials. Now, anytime is going into more interesting stuff beyond what people are browsing about, right? Beyond what people are browsing about. A lot of people save, right? They always click save password for relogin and all those kind of stuff. Right. So there's a ton of credential, right? There's a ton of information that we can actually extract from people's browser, right? Thank you, Tight Tech. People live on the internet. The world is a global village, right? Beautiful analysis, beautiful answer, right? Yes, search engine. Okay. Um, so let me just jump down. Let me just jump down. No, Justina, it's not bad to save your login details. It's not bad, right? It's not bad. It's not bad to save your login details. Okay, right? But then there are some things you can actually leverage as a professional. This is just us trying to leverage some things that are normal. And we're not saying it's bad, but we are trying to leverage some of these things. Okay. All right. Um yeah, Emmanuel Oteje, saved passwords and autofill data. Right. Christian, I don't do that. Did that about 5 years ago. I'm not sure I know what you're talking about, Christian. Okay, Kemi is very important because it provides a wealth of information about a user's online activities, including site visited. It's very correct. Agwamba Emmanuel, I used to delete mine when I didn't have a personal PC. Now I no longer delete because of ease. Yeah, you guys are making sense, right? Right. And one thing we want to bring out of this is we are just trying to show normal human behavior, right? We are just showing normal human behavior, right? So, and these are some of the things we want to capitalize on as professionals, as cybersecurity experts. Okay. Um. Okay. 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 Yes, Samuel. Yes. Browser data, literally digital footprint of a person. Yes, a booker. Okay. Doesn't private browser save information? That's a nice question, Taiwo. Right. Okay. Um Okay, so let's get to our slide. Let's not get caught up with the plenty comments because I easily get lost here. So while we are going to be talking about file system, right? So why file system matters in forensic? Why is it important for us to understand what file system when it comes to digital forensic, right? File system, you must understand it helps to organize how data is being stored, how data is being accessed, and how data is deleted. Okay, so file system, right, organizes how data is stored, how data is accessed, and how data is being deleted, right? So if you understand how data is being stored, how it is being accessed, and how it goes about deletion, then it is possible for us as experts to capitalize on this when we actually need to, right? And different file systems store metadata differently, right? So the way Windows goes about storing its file system is different from the way Linux goes about it, right? It's also different from the way Mac goes about it, right? It's different from the way mobile phones, right, go about it. And all right, guys, sorry, my network is not the best tonight. Please bear with me. Okay. Okay, please, can you hear me now? All right, thank you, Ebenezer. Okay. All right, thank you, guys. So, can you see my slide now? Okay. All right. So thank you. So like I was saying, right? Forensic analysis can reveal hidden or deleted file, right? So there are certain ways, right? For some of you, I know like some of you might have gone to maybe in one time at a point or the other, you probably have played around with your computer, right? Maybe you hide one some of your files, right? So these are some things we know like people actually do, right? So you want to understand how the file system works, right? Right? You want to know how the file system works, right? That way you can know when a user is trying to hide a file and ways they go about it and those kind of stuff, right? And then that way you can actually retrieve the hidden file and those kind of stuff, right? And also deleted file. Okay, can you see my slide? Some people are still complaining about green screen. Vuma Yang B. Please, can you see my screen and can you hear my voice, please? Okay, okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So that means we are good to go. All right. Thank you, Badaya. Okay, thank you, Gabby. Okay, so common file system, right? We have a couple of file system out there, but then we are just going to be picking four, right? So we have FAT32, right? It's simple structure using USB drive. We have NTFS, which is used in Windows, used to store. It stores metadata, permission, and all those kind of stuff, right? Using tracking who has access to what file, who doesn't have access, and all those kind of things. Basically, file permission and those kind of stuff. Then we have EXFAT, right? Which is optimized for flash drive, larger file supports, right? Then we have EXT4, which is for Linux system, right? And journaling support. Okay. Right. All right. So like we said the last time, right? We spoke a little bit about file deletion, right? And then I was trying to explain the last time why it is that in the world of computing there is in quotes there's no such thing as deleting a file, right? I was trying to explain that, but some of you guys struggle to understand, so we are going to try to explain that tonight. Okay, so deletion often only removes references, not actual data, right? And then NTFS marks file space as unallocated, can be recovered using forensic tools. So what exactly am I trying to say? Now, remember we said there's something called file system, right? So the file system is what, okay, sorry. The file system, right, is what helps to organize how data is being stored, is in charge of how data is being stored, is in charge of how data is being accessed, and is also in charge of how data is being deleted, right? So remember the last time we said, okay, we should think of it as a table, right? So probably, right, like when it comes to NTFS, which is for Windows, right? Think of it as a table, right? There's a table, right, that is responsible for where information, which shows the computer where information is being stored, right? Which so you can see it directs the computer on where to retrieve information. So building up on the example I gave in the last class, I said, okay, maybe the table is going to say, okay, pictures for Emmanuel are located in memory address 1234, right? Then on the table, maybe the next part of the table, then you see maybe the information is going to be something like, okay, audios, music, right, for Emmanuel are in memory location 3456, right? And then it continues like that, right? So when you select, okay, so let me go back to the right slide, okay, so because some people are complaining. right? So now when you want to delete a file, right, what you are just doing is that you are saying, oh, on the NTFS table, right, the address should be removed, right? So most time we call it pointer, right? So it's not going to be pointing to the address that the information is located, right? So for example, on the address table, we used to say, oh, pictures is in memory address 1234. So on that table, it's no longer going to say pictures is in memory address 1234. But it doesn't mean that information is not in memory address 1234, right? So now when memory address, because I remember the last time someone was asking that, oh, how, if we're saying this, then how come our devices, maybe our computer, our mobile device tells us and when we clear space, right, that okay, we've created new space, right? So basically, as part of the file system, right, there's a place for the operating system, right? There's a place where the operating system is probably, let's say, check, right? It's going to check that is going to use to know. Remember that one of the job that the table is playing, the NTFS, the file system is playing, is that it helps the computer to know, okay, that memory address 1234 is in use because there's a picture there, right? So the computer automatically knows that it's not supposed to put anything in memory address 1234, right? But then when we no longer reference memory address 1234, now it now means that, oh, the computer can at any point come and put data in memory address 1234, right? So NTFS marks file space as allocated or unallocated. Okay, right? So any place that we are using is allocated. Anywhere we are not using is not allocated. So we know, like, oh, we can always put information there, right? So that's why, oh, although you might have, anytime you click delete, right, it's just like telling your computer that, okay, that place that we used to say is allocated, right, is not available for taking in information, right? I hope you guys are following. Okay, so that's the way it works, right? So now what I'm saying is, a lot of the time, right, the only way we can actually do away with that information, right, is to now put something else in that space. Okay, is to put something else in that space, which brings us to the part where I was trying to explain that the only way you can do it is by overwriting that space. Okay. Okay, so somebody's asking, what is the meaning of NTFS? I'm going to put that question to you. What is the meaning of NTFS, right? So, as funny as that might sound, right, I remember one thing I've said a good number of times, right? Always make Google your best friend, right? So, always make Google your best friend. Okay. So, let me see if somebody is going to answer that for us quickly. Kevwe Ode. Yes. Okay. Thank you. New technology file system. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Sylve Egurebe. Right? Is that Steve? Right? Someone just answered that. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Okay. Beautiful. So we are good. We are good. Babs Topsy. Nice. Okay, so having on the explained this now, right, it makes a lot more sense why it is possible for us to delete something that has been claimed. I'm sorry, it is possible for us to retrieve something that has been said to be deleted. Okay, makes a lot of sense, right? Because we know, like, there's a chance that the information is still in that place. It's just that, oh, on the file system, on the table, right, the information is no the table is no longer referencing that place. The table is no longer pointing to that place, right? So, yeah, technology. So, key forensic artifacts, right? So, artifacts are traces left behind by users or system activities, right? So, when we are talking about artifacts, right, key traces left behind, informations left behind, sometimes not necessarily left behind, right? Things that could actually aid or help our forensic process, right? So, for example, we listed some, right, already. So we said browser history, recent documents, USB connection history, system log, right? So I think somebody might be asking, okay, what do I mean by USB connection history? Yes, any USB device that you plug in into your system, right, is being logged, right? So there's a way for us to check every single USB device that has been connected to a particular system. So that is also something you might want to look into, right, when you're carrying out your forensic. Okay. So it's almost time for the break. So I'm just going to take a question, then we'll take our 10 minutes break, and then we'll get back to continue what we have for tonight. So I have a question by Samuel Asian, right? Can corrupted files or data be retrieved? Yes, it is possible for you to retrieve a corrupted file, right? And then you might want to ask that, is it possible for us to restore a file that has been corrupted? Yes, a good number of times it is possible, right? But not always, right? Sometimes file might be actually get damaged beyond repair, right? But it is actually possible for us to retrieve corrupted file, and it is also possible for us to repair it, right? Okay. Okay, someone is asking, what of if you delete from, yes, even if you delete from recycle bin, what you are just saying is you are just telling it that that place is not available for storing information, but the information is still there, right? Yes, Ebenezer is a 50-50 thing. Yes. Okay. Um, so I believe I've answered Clayton's. Okay, fast tracking is asking, do we always need tools, right? Or can we use command? Yeah, I mean, basically, the tools you are using are also using command. So sometimes you could actually go about it manually. Okay, you could actually go about it manually, and then you perform the retrieval yourself. But then there are actually some things that are very, very complex when it comes to references, memory, address spaces, and all those kind of stuff. So, and it might be a bit difficult for some of us to comprehend, right? So, some of these tools just makes it easy for us to get the job done. Okay. Um, Bello, Matthew, what if they use Mac to wipe the memory? All right, guys. Please, can you hear me now? So sorry about my technical issues tonight. Sincerely apologize. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, and I want to believe you can see my screen as well. Okay. Peter Ina, no audio. Okay, I think it's from your side. Okay, all right. Thank you, Tight Tech. All right, Buku. So okay, so we're talking about key forensic artifacts, right? Key forensic artifacts, right? We said artifact are traces left behind by users and system activities, right? So like browsers history, recent documents, USB connection history, and system and system logs. Okay, so having spoke about that, we are going to look into Windows event log, right? So a good number of personal computer users use Windows, right? I mean about 70 to 80% of the total human population, right? Yeah, about 60, 70 to 80. I'm not sure of the exact figure, right? Uses Windows system, right? So it's very good for us to have understanding of how the Windows file system work and also the Windows event log, right? So basically, an event is anything that is being done on the computer, right? Anything that is being done, any activity that is being performed, right? And every single thing you carry out or you do on the Windows system is actually being stored, is actually being saved in what is known as the Windows event log, right? So we have different type of, it's called the Windows event logs, right? Because there are a whole lot of them. There are different logs, right? So we have logs for failed events, logs for maybe USB devices that you're plugging in, logs for failed login, log for successful login, and all those kind of things. Like every single thing that you're doing on the Windows system is actually being logged, right? And this contains timestamp, it contains event ID, user's action, and all those kind of things. So what do we mean by event ID, right? We try to classify all of these events. We try to identify all of these events by an ID, right? So we have event ID. So for example, if I'm going through a Windows system and I want to see all of the failed login, right? All of the failed login events, right? There's a Windows event number for that. There's a Windows event number for that. So all I have to do is to filter for that Windows event ID, right? So it's going to take out all the other things that I don't want to see and only show me the ones I want to see. And it's not just showing me what I want to see, right? Right? Is also going to show me the time, right? It's also going to show me the time for the event, right? And a lot more interesting information, right? So let's quickly, so if you want to see this on your own system, right? If you have administrative system, if you have administrative access on your system and you go to this particular location, which is C Windows System 32 Win Events slash logs, right? You are going to see a whole lot of logs, right, pertaining to your system. You're going to see a whole lot of logs pertaining to your system. So we'll just do that quickly now. I'm just going to show you some of these logs. We are not going to touch them or anything too serious, right? But let's just see these things. Okay, so some of you might be asking that, oh, how do we navigate to this particular location on our system? So we'll be showing that. All right, we'll be showing that. Okay. All right, so please let me know if you can see my screen. Right, so please let me know if you can see my screen. So this log that we're looking at is what is known as host log, right? All the activities that are taking place on your system, right? All the activities that are taking place on your system, okay? So I'm just doing this in what is known as a virtual environment, right? So what I have here is a Windows server, right? So this is like a Windows server for learning and test purpose, okay, for those who might be asking. So I'm just going to log in. So all what you are seeing here right now is purely for test purpose. The organization name you are seeing there is purely for test purpose, right? So it's nothing too serious, so please. So I'm just going to enter in my password. Right, okay. So we have the server here. Okay. Okay, it's hard for me to zoom in, guys. So please, you might just want to do that. Okay, so you guys can see my screen, so I think we are good to go. Yeah, don't worry, everything is good, right? So let me just close this, right? Remember, like I explained the other time, right? A Windows server is basically just a computer, right? It's just a computer, right? That has special feature, right? So it's not entirely different from your normal computer, like you can see here, right? So let me try to work the display to make things. Let's see. Okay. I'm trying to edit my display. Okay. Okay. So please bear with me, guys. Oh, no. Now is not a good time to do this to me. Okay. Now, I can't seem to get this right now, guys. So let's just manage this. Okay, so let's navigate to the Windows log location. Okay, so I'll maximize this, right? So all you have to do, right, just click on this bar here, right? Then paste the location. So I'm just going to copy the location from my slide, right? And then I'm going to paste it there, and that should take me to the location for the Windows log, right? So now you can see most of these logs, right? So now. So you can see most of the logs, right? You can see there's a ton of log we have here, right? So you can see Internet Explorer, hardware events, DNS server, directory service, application, Microsoft user experience virtualization, and a whole lot of data, right? A whole lot of logs, right? So yeah, so let me do this again. Open my Windows File Explorer, go to the top search bar, right? The top bar, right? Close to the search bar, right? And then I enter the location, which is C Windows System 32 Windows Events / logs. And then I press enter, it takes me there, right? And then we have that here, right? So this is like the short way of doing it. For some who might not understand is that this might not work. So let's do it the traditional way that most of you guys are familiar with. So I'm just going to go to this PC, right? I'm going to click on the C drive. Now you can see that I'm in the C drive over here, right? So after the C drive, where am I going to go to? Right, I'm going to go to Windows, right? So click on Windows, right? After Windows, where am I going to? I'm going to System 32. So I'm just going to quickly search for System 32. So scroll down, and here it is, System 32. So I'm going to click on this, and then from System 32, we need to go to Windows Events. So scroll down to W, right? And here it is, right? Win event, right? So I'm going to click on this, and then finally we are going to logs. So I'm going to click on logs, and here we are, right? So for those who are traditional, right, this is how you go about it. But if you don't want to take that long process, just get the parts and then you paste it here, hit enter, and voila, you get to where the log file is. Okay, so thank you Olayemi for pasting the location. Thank you. That's beautiful. Thank you, man. Okay, so I want to believe everybody got it, right? I want to believe everybody got that. So I mean, I would advise that you also try this on your own end, right? If you have your computer there, try it, right? Yeah, now Nwachukwu has gotten a step ahead of me. Yeah, so we have something called the Windows Event Viewer. We are going to touch on that very soon. Okay, but beautiful comment. I love that. Okay, Okoli Grace is asking if your system is 64 bits, should you replace it with should we replace that system 32 with? No. It is system 32. Okay, so it's one of Windows 10. Okay, it's not. Don't replace it with 64. Okay, Samuel Odada is saying I got for 2019 log. Okay, now that's interesting. Okay, you're using Ubuntu Akinlose Justus. All right, that's cool. That's good. Then you are not going to be able to practice this with us unless you have like a virtual machine. Yes, if you have, I mean, if you are familiar with command prompt, but let's focus on what we have, on the basics that we want to do in this class. Let's not make things too complex for those who are very new. Okay. Okay, so let me go over it again. For those who might not get it, right? So I'm going to close this, right? So all you need to do is open your file explorer, right? File explorer. So if you're having problem opening your file explorer, right, just click on Windows W, or is it Control W? Windows W, yeah. I'm sorry, Windows E rather. I said Windows W. Oh my goodness. Forgive me, guys. Windows E, right? If you press Windows E together, it should open your file explorer. So Windows E opens your file explorer, right? But if you are the click type, right? So click on your file explorer here, right? Then go to the top bar here, close to the search bar, beside the search bar, paste the address, which is Windows, and which is C Windows System 32 Windows Event / log, right? After pasting it, hit enter, right? After hitting enter, either you paste it or you type it, whichever one you want to do, right? You should have access to all of this log, right? But then if you are the click type, right, still the same, right? Do Windows E, right? And then you go to your local disk, right? Or let's go to this PC rather. No, local disk, right? From local disk, you go to where? You go to Windows. From Windows, right? From Windows, you go to System 32, right? So let's scroll down. So we have System 32. For the person saying, okay, if we are doing System 32, maybe we should go to System 64. You can see there's no System 64 here. So if you use System 64, it's going to tell you know what you're talking about. Right. So System 32, we click on this. Then from System 32, we scroll down to where? We scroll down to where? We scroll down to Windows Events. So W, then we have this, right? And from Windows Events, we go to logs, right? And then we can see all of this. So we can just see this, right? If we double click on any of this, what will happen? You see that it's going to open in your Windows event viewer, right? So you can see the event viewer, right? And then scroll about and some other kind of things. So we have different type of log. We have application log, we have system log, and others. So if we go to Windows log, you can see we have application log, we have security log, we have setup log, we have system log, and then we have forwarded log, right? So forwarded log is when you are sending to a central place. So let me make this big, right? So let's go to security log. So you can see a lot of activities, right, relating to security that's happened on my system. So please forgive me if you can't see my screen clearly, right? You might need to zoom in. Okay, so you can see some logon, you can see event ID that we're talking about, you can see date and time, you can see the source, right? So these are like useful information. So if you click on any of these, right, then you can see some more information down here. So I'm just going to take this up, right? And then so we can see more information, right? So you can see more information. So you can see workstation name, which is my fictitious organization Zenith Core, right? DC01, right? And all this kind of stuff. So you can see more information about that particular event. So logon type is 7, logon ID, right? System ID, account name, account domain, right? A lot more information, right? And then, yeah, so we have all of this. So this is like security log, right? So you can see credential validation, you can see log off, right? And related information about that. Okay, so if we go to application, right, you can see some events that were generated by applications on this particular system. Okay. Yeah, so that's it for. Okay. So let's go so for those who might want to see things from Windows Event Viewer, you just come to your Windows search bar, right? Come here, you can just search for Events Viewer, right? So you can see the Event Viewer, right? So if you click on this, then you have this, right? So Windows log. So let's drop this down, right? Then you can see the various log that you can mess with. Application, you can see saved log. So you can see a lot of information, right? And then you can visualize those things from here, right? You can see this warning, right? The DNS server is waiting for blah 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 blah, right? You can see the event ID. The event ID for this is 4013. Okay. So these are all the events, right? But then we view it from the Windows Event Viewer. Okay. So someone is asking how I got into the event viewer. I think I just did that. Okay. Am I fast? I think I'm moving at a pretty medium speed. Okay, so guys, let me know. Let's see. I think we are good. So I can get back to our slide and then we can touch on the remaining things. Clay tools, Blamo. You are lost. Okay, so let's go over all of this one last time. Okay, so let's go over all of this one last time for the sake of those who are lost, right? Okay. So let's get back to our machine. So I'm going to close all of this, right? Go to your file explorer, right? And then in your file explorer, right, in the bar, right, close to the search bar. Actually, do not know what this is being called, right? And then you can now paste the location that you want to go to, which is C Windows if system 32 win events slash log, right? Either you paste it if you are lazy like me, or you actually type it out manually if you want to do that. Okay, after doing that, then you hit enter, right? It takes you to the location for your logs in your system, right? So you can see some of these logs. You can see security, you can see setup system, you can see a whole lot of logs here, right? A lot of them are I mean, all of them are system generated in code, right? So yeah, application log. This is like my study active directory, right? So you can see active directory web services log and all those kind of stuff, right? And yeah, so for those who might like click, 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 right? So I'm going to close this and then we'll do it the click, click, click way. So I'm going to open Windows File Explorer, right? And then I'm going to go to my C drive, right? In my C drive, I'm going to go to Windows, right? And then in the Windows, I'm going to go to where System 32, right? Once I'm inside System 32, I'm going to where Windows Event, right? Which is WinEVT, WinEVT, right? So I click on WinEVT and then I click on Logs and voila, we are here, right? But then if you want to see visualizing, right, if you want to open the file, like we said, so you can click on this, right, to open up in Windows Event Viewer, right? Because that's the application responsible for viewing events, and then you can see all the events that has taken place on this particular system, right? Right. But then if you want to, another way to go about this is to use, just go to the Windows Event Viewer, right? So in your Windows, right, search, right, you just search for event viewer, right? So like we have here, click on event viewer and then we are here, right? Then if you go under Windows log, you can see some popular and common logs, right? Application security setup system. So you click on any and then you see the logs here. So this is application log, right? Then if you select any of this, you see more information about that down here. So the different type you can, and other useful information, you can see the date and time here. You can see the source of the log. You can see the event ID. Remember I said, okay, each event, right? Each event, right, has an ID, each event category. So all events relating to logon, whether failed login, successful login, there's an event ID for that. Failed login, there's an event ID for that. And sometimes you might even want to use the filter, but let's not talk about that yet. Okay. So now you can see this error now. So I could decide to go into it, try to see what happened, what caused this error. And yeah. All right. So I think I'm seeing a lot more people saying Taiwo just said, Taiwo Daramola just said he or she just did his or hers. That's strange. Right. So yeah. So I think I have a lot more person getting this. Okay. Okay, so I was asking what is the major role of Windows Event Viewer? Windows Event Viewer, right? So it's used for viewing events. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay, it's a she. All right, Taiwo. Okay. Okay, someone is asking for deleted file. One step at a time, guys. One step at a time. One step at a time. God's time hustle. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there are different ways to go about it, right? I just choose, right? We are just using two style, right? Two method rather to go to the log location, and then we use the search, the easy way, right, to go about opening the Windows event viewer, right? Two ways actually. We search for it, we open it, and then we get to it, right? Or we open the log file, or we open the log directly from the log location. Yes, that math, Dre. Yes, the log is useful now. You can see there's a ton of information there, right? There's a ton of information there. Okay, so I believe we are good. So let me reshare my screen and let's get back to our slide. Okay, so I want to believe what we have on the slide makes a lot more sense now, right? So we can see, we saw the timestamp, we saw the event ID, the user action, and all those kind of things, right? So and then we saw the system log, we saw what is it called? We saw system log, we saw security log, we saw application log, and set up forwarded events, right? We saw all of those physically. Okay, right. So let's get back to our slide. So analyzing event log, right? So there are some useful tools. We have event viewer, like we've seen already. We have log passer, we have ELK stack, and some other things, right? Right. Then we have some useful event ID that you want to focus on, right? When you're investigating, right? So log on events with their ID, right? Successful log on, field log on, and all those kind of things. Log on, log off, those kind of things, right? So event ID 4624, event ID 4625. Then there's something called privilege escalation, right? Maybe moving from a low level user to a high level user, right? The event ID for that is 4672, right? Then system shutdown, system startup, and all those kind of things. Those are like some things you might want to pay attention to. I mean, this is just like very high level. There's a lot more than this. Okay, and then we have registry artifacts, right? So Windows registry store configuration data, right? So common hives, we have empty user.dat, user specific information, we have system hardware information, operating system information, right? So some forensic information that I want to dig out from these are like last accessed files, connected files, and those kind of stuff, right? Also, another thing you want to look into, right? When it comes to registry, right? A lot of time, right, as part of like some post exploitation, in the case of some compromise, right? Sometime in order for people to always to have what we call persistence, right? Which is when an attacker tries to establish his hold on a particular system, thereby making sure that he or she always has access to the system whenever they want to, right? So some of these things are being done in the registry. So you want to pay attention to the registry and see if anything interesting is there, maybe anything special has been written there and all those kind of stuff. Okay, so browser artifacts, right? So popular browsers, we have Chrome, we have Edge, we have Firefox, right? So some things you might want to look into, right, includes like store history, cookies, cache, download, and all those kind of things. So where do we have our browser artifacts? So you want to look at the app data folder, right? You want to look at the app data folder. So there are some tools for doing this, right? History Examiner, Soft Utility, and there are some other ones, but okay. Okay, so yeah, so some of these things you guys already mentioned them earlier on, right? When it comes to forensic and inspecting browsing activities and those kind of stuff, right? So search queries, visited sites and timestamps, downloaded files, autofill data, right? Like username, password, emails, and those kind of interesting stuff, right? But before we get to metadata, let's look at app data, right? So usually now, okay, so I'm just going to close this. Okay, let's see if I can get to where I want to. So this PC, C, users, administrator, right, and app data. I don't have that here. Okay, but usually it's like C username, then you should be able to access that. Okay, right, but I might want to sign. I'm not signing as the administrator right now, as the local administrator on this system. Okay. Um, Hold on. Okay, let's see if I can do it. If it's okay, let me check my public user or not. Okay, but try that at your end, guys. Let me see. Oh, guys are even complaining about my speed. Okay. Okay, Oluwakemi Shola. Okay, if you have events viewer, then check that. Okay, check that and see what is there. Okay, okay. Thank you, Cletus. Thank you. Thank you. So I mean, there might be a little slight. There might be slight difference, right? But then you know when to adapt. Okay. So thank you. Okay. You guys are complaining about my speed. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's see. So let me get back to the slide. Okay. Please, can you guys see my screen? Okay, so let me reshare my screen. Let's get back to. Oh, sorry, I wasn't even sharing mine. Okay, I wasn't sharing the right screen. Sorry about that. So let's share my no. Okay. Okay, please, can you see my window screen now? To learning wisdom. Otulani Wisdom. Okay. Okay. So thanks, guys. Okay. So we are good. So same thing, right? Open this, right? Then we'll go to C. Thank you. Thank you. Somebody actually made help me get back right on track. I was missing something. So we go to C, we go to users, right? And then we go to the user that you want to get his browsing history, right? Or data rather. So I administrator, right? Then we have app data here, right? So for me to see this app data, I had to come to view and then hidden select hidden item, right? To show hidden item, right? So if I don't do that, I can't see it here. So you come to view, right? Then you select hidden items, right? So after you do that, you can see app data folder here. So thank you for the bright mind that actually brought this to my note. Thanks, man. You're the best. So open app data and then local, right? Then you can see Microsoft. You can see a couple of things. Let's go to Microsoft credentials. So I don't have any here. This purely for test purpose, right? So you might want to look into a whole lot of right, play around, look into things, right? I mean, but before it used to be easy to retrieve the information, but it's not as easy as it used to be, right? Okay. You guys are still complaining about the speed. Okay. I'm actually moving at a very slow pace in my own opinion. Okay, so let's do this together, right? So I'm just going to do unselect this, then I'm going to close this, right? So you select your file explorer, okay? To do this, you want to press Windows E, right? Once you do that, right, you go to this PC, right? In this PC, right, you select your local disk C drive. So I select this, right? Then I go to users, okay? Select users. Then I go to the user, right? Whose browsing history I want to check. In one case, it is administrator. In your own case, it might be your username, right? So you select it, and then after that, you can't see app data right now. So you go to view, so you select view, right? Then you select hidden items, right? So you check this hidden item box. So if I check it, then I should see some hidden information. So app data here, so I select app data, like local, roaming. So see, I do. So let's go to local, right? Connected, Microsoft. So you can see. So just play around here. So I'm just going to go to credential here, right? And then I don't have any here. Okay. No, you can't do this on phone for those asking. So yeah, like I said, Bright, right? In my own case, administrator is my user, right? So if you can see your own user, right, then you select that user. So I mean, for some people, PC, okay, for Adeleke, PC might be your username on that system. So you select PC, okay. So you adapt. Don't expect everything to be like what you are seeing on my screen. We are using different computers, remember, okay. So Clay tools, I got two options, HP and public. Then you select HP. So there's a chance your username is HP. Thank you, Tunde Jimo, for for your comments. Thank you. Okay. Okay, Justina is saying there's no view. There should be a view button. Please look around, okay? No, what we are doing European, but what we are doing is purely for Windows, okay? What we are doing right now, we are focusing on Windows. All right. So Taiwo, I got default public and user, right? Yes, user, you should select user. Okay, that's probably who you are working at. Okay, all right. So I think we are good, guys. I think we are good. The comment section look positive. Okay, so let's get back to our slide, even as we start rounding up. So we have metadata, right? So metadata is data about data, right? Metadata, data about data. So information such as author, the timestamp, that is the date the file was created, right? The location the file was created, right? I mean, we know like some of we have some people stripping some of this data now, right? So we some of metadata are not as exhaustive as it used to be, but you can still get a lot more useful information about files, right? Maybe files you retrieve in the process of carrying out forensic, right? You can still get some juicy information, right? Maybe you are checking a doc, right? Maybe a Microsoft document, a docx file. You can see the name of the computer it was created on, the name of the author of the computer, the date, the time, and those kind of stuff. So you can see this is the data like I have here, right? And then you can see the metadata. So this data is like an image, right? So you can see the file name, you can see the file name is castor.png, the author is Xavier, the date September 14, 2021. So this is known as the metadata, right? So information about data about the data, information about the data, right? So yeah, so common in document like images, PDF, docx, Excel, and all those kind of things. You can use it in knowing when, where, and who the owner of the system is, right? And all those kind of interesting information. So use cases for metadata, right? Identify who created or who modified a file, right? So you determine file transfer path, check creation versus modification timestamp. So you can see when the file was created, when it was modified, who modified the file, and all those kind of things. Okay. Then we have hidden and residual files, right? So slack space, unused space in a disk cluster, unallocated space, right? So previously deleted files. So like we said already, if you delete a file, you just stop referencing the space, right? That means the space is now open for use. Doesn't mean the file is no longer in the memory location, right? So there are times you might want to get out this data, this information, right, for forensic purpose, right? Hibernation, page file, contain sensitive data, remnants, right? So yeah, finally, in summary, what we've done tonight, file system structure impacts. Our final takeaway, right? File system is structure, impact data recovery and analysis. Windows log, browser data, metadata provide crucial evidence, right? And then tools and methodology matters in extracting meaningful artifacts. So we'll be looking at some of these tools as we meet tomorrow by God's grace. Then we'll be doing some analysis, right? So very, very important. So thank you, guys. Thank you for tonight. I'm sure we all had a great time. Okay, so please don't post your file system structure. Okay, please don't post your file system structure. And you want to keep some information um private. Okay, all right, so thank you guys, I appreciate. Please, what are we to download? If you can, please download autopsy before our session tomorrow. Okay, please download autopsy, right? Okay, so let me just show you that for those who might be curious. So download autopsy, right? And then you come to their website. So let me make this big because I know some of you might not see this, right? So you can see digital forensic, right? So let's come here and then you download the one relevant to your system. Okay, so but then you might want to submit some information here, right? So yeah, So click on this for 64 bits. If you are using Linux, get the one for Linux. And yeah, by God's grace, we proceed from here tomorrow. Okay, Emmanuel Eteji. Sorry, I'm not sure I understand your question. Can we add it to our extension because of space? I'm not sure I understand what you mean by that. All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks for the kind word. And okay, Cletus. I'm not sure I saw that question, but let me check. Okay, Cletus, where are you? Okay. I didn't see. Please, can you type that again? Okay, is autopsy on Kali? I'm not sure. You can check, please. Please confirm that. I'm not sure. Okay. Yes, you can use autopsy on Linux. All right. You can use autopsy on Linux. Okay. Let me check Kali. Is autopsy there? Yeah, autopsy is actually on Kali. Yeah, I just checked. Yes, it is installed by default. Okay. So yeah, thanks guys. Thanks Tech. You guys are right. It's there by default. Okay, Cletus, you are trying to install autopsy, but it's telling you there's no space. I can't tell you what file to delete now. It's your system. So look for files that are not important and then make up some space. Okay. Remember, I'm not using your system with you, so I can't say delete this or that. I don't even know what is on in your system. No, no, you can't add it to Chrome extension, Emmanuel. You can't add it to. I mean, I'm not aware. To the best of my knowledge, I don't think you can add it to as Chrome extension. Okay. Okay, man. I hope that is good enough. So no, you don't have to fill the download and register. I mean, you can download it, right? So let me click on download here, right? And then you see it's downloading. Okay, so now you can see it downloading already. So I have it downloading here. Okay, so you don't have to register. Okay, you can just download. Okay, so thank you, Osasumwe. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, all right, Matthew. Great. Inumimo. Oh, Inumimo. Okay, okay, right. Yeah, I answered you already. Okay. All right. Good night, guys. Please have a good night's rest and bye bye, everybody. Good night, Ngozi.